the USA chant is started. You don't have anybody more patriotic in this world than this man right here. As he closes in on 50, 1 minute to go. 1 minute. He is on. Oh, he's through 50. He's through 50. Everyone counts now. 45. It's 40 seconds. 46 for our soldiers. "30 seconds to go." Joey's at 52, 53. Here he's right in that marker. Here comes. It's going to be 54. We got 20 seconds left. 20 seconds. 15 seconds. This is 55 right now. Here it is. 10 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it.
It's a good Friday afternoon. How the heck are we doing? Let's wrap the week up strong. 4th of July holiday yesterday. Hope it was a great one for all of you. California Classic kicking off tomorrow. The Kings pulling double duty on a couple of the days. Doug Christie going to be the coach of the California Classic team, playing here in Sacramento. Not a big surprise. We heard that in the exit interviews. Hey, Corn Dog, I see you there, Colin. I'm going to get to you after our guest because Emeron's going to be joining us here in about 10 minutes. I want to clear the way for him, set the table, and then we will open the phone lines up as always on Fridays. Yeah, you heard me right. Emeron Pilotti, owner of True Sports and Collectibles out in Rockland, going to be joining us here in about 10 minutes. There's been a big demand for this conversation. Somehow cards came up. There was one that was, I don't know, I think it sold for over like $2 million. And all of a sudden, the chat freaking popped. And I didn't realize we had so many collectors up in here. So if you have questions for Emeron, I would love for you guys to get in, put them in. Oh, you're going to be talking about different collectibles. All right, I see you, Con Dog. All right, I'll bring you up with Emeron here in a little bit. I'm going to get him going. Yes, it is. It is freaking hot. It is. By the way, no Devin Carter in the California Classic. I'll tell you why I think that is actually a good thing. You might be surprised. I think it is a good thing. Happy 5th, Patrick. How you doing, man? I don't know about all of you, and I get that it is not safe, but we did not have to go far to see a fireworks show. I mean, we did not have to go far at all. It was right in the sky above our house. I am not saying go all out with the illegals, but what I am saying is we didn't have a fire in our neighborhood. Thank goodness we were not part of it, but certainly the skies were lit up. Haunted Horse, I have sports cards. Dude, you've got Gary V cards. You guys know who Gary V is? Yeah, I didn't think so. BJ, what's up, man? Happy 5th. Yes, that was, by the way, Joey Chestnut at the beginning. He ate 57 dogs in 5 minutes. 57. You want to know what the Nathan's winner did? I don't even know the person's name. 58 in 10 minutes. But Joey Chestnut doing it for the troops, doing it with the troops, donated over $106,000 to the military. Thought that was pretty good. Good job by the incredible brands. I know Bane put this in at the beginning. Franz Wagner got his bag, $224 million from Orlando. Orlando could be one of those teams that's kind of like an Oklahoma City last year. in the Eastern Conference. Not saying that they are a contender to win the thing, but they're going to make a little bit of noise. They are addressing the holes that they certainly had, shooting being one of them. They've got a young core with some veterans bringing up the back end. I really like what they're doing in Orlando, and I really like that it did not include Malik Monk, who is still here in Sacktown. Let's see what's up, Ben. Hope you're having a good one. Kings need to splish splash. You gotta slip and slide in the backyard ready for him, Ben. Maybe Monty can come over in some trunks and a sweater vest. Yeah, even though it's 110. Just kidding. That's Monty's look. Good for him. Stay true to who you are. Well, I know they're looking at DeMar DeRozan trade. This doesn't help with their height/length problems. That is still a glaring issue. Well, it's a glaring issue when it comes to the front line. It's not a massive issue when it comes to the center position. The Kings were up 24% last season in blocks. 24%. That was something they wanted to address in the offseason. They did. Now, do you need more? Yes. You need it in a different spot, though. You need a guy that can guard multiple positions on the perimeter. Right now, Keegan Murray is the only player that can do that for the Kings. Maybe Devin Carter. Maybe. But hey, like I said at the top, Emeron Pilotti, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectibles in Rockland's going to be joining us in just a few minutes. So get your questions ready for him. I'm really interested to find out more about the market, the hobby. I always used to think it was a hobby. To me, this is a business now. I had no idea cards were still around in the way that they are. And the amount of money being exchanged for some of these boxes of cards that come with these exotics. And I mean exotics. You've got NBA logo cards. You've got patches from Babe Ruth's jersey. How the hell are they coming up with this stuff? But really excited to have him. You can also find him on Saturday mornings as well. He has a 10 a.m. show, the True Sports Cards show on 1140. So we will be getting to him in a little bit. Adam says he is great. Yeah, he's a good dude. Are you guys talking about Gary V? Oh boy, Gary V. I see everybody normally in the house in the chat. I love it. Sack, what's up, man? Kings are running it back. Not necessarily. But if you, I guess, what was the expectation for this offseason? Yes, they needed to get better. We are day 5 of free agency. We knew the Kings weren't going to get better in free agency. It was going to have to come via trade. And the bottom line is assets are a problem for them when it comes to draft capital. Tangible assets, not an issue. Harrison Barnes, a contract you can move. Kevin Huerter, a contract that you can move. You know who you can't move? Somebody like Domantas Sabonis. You could probably move a Fox, which is off the table. Keegan's the interesting one. He's been thrown into some of these discussions, and I couldn't agree any less with anyone that is saying trade Keegan Murray. Now, the one thing I can't agree on about trading Keegan Murray is you are probably right at his max value, where max value in terms of his contract and what's left on it meets, you kind of know what he is. Actually, you pretty much know what he is. You can see the type of player he could be, but it's at that point where it's unknown. Could he turn into an all-star? Absolutely. Could he stay at the same level he's at now and be a 10, 12, 15-year veteran? Absolutely. But that question, because you can't predict the future, makes his value that much higher. Now, he plays another season and it's a bad season, then value drops. But if you were going to get off Keegan, which I don't think the Kings will, because I said this on our show the other night with Grant and Jerry. By the way, hopefully you caught that. Jerry Reynolds popped in. That was a fun show. That being said, Keegan is to the Sacramento Kings defense what De'Aaron Fox is to the Kings offense. He is the leader of that defense. Like I said, only guy on the perimeter that can guard multiple positions. And I'm talking about forwards on the perimeter. Obviously, we've got a guard in Keon Ellis that showed he can guard usually 1 through 3 if you need him to. And I got to take about him here in a little bit because he is going to be featured. You remember how Keegan Murray was featured last year in the California Classic? This year, it's going to be Keon Ellis, and that's because Devin Carter's not going to be playing. So let's see what Keon Ellis can do as quote unquote the man. Can he step out of that role and be a little bit more than a solid role player? I think he can. Now, remember, you're not necessarily going to be playing against NBA talent. It is Summer League. It's the first really tournament of Summer League. It takes place over about 4 days, and it's both in Sacramento and Golden State. The Kings' schedule looks like this. They kick it off with the Lakers at 1:30 on Saturday. Then they play China. That's right, China making the trip. That's at 7:30. Then you've got Miami at 1:30 on Sunday afternoon. Sunday evening, you've got San Antonio. Tuesday, here in Sacramento, the Kings will play Charlotte. And then they wrap things up Wednesday in Golden State versus Golden State. So a good sample size for them. It's always good when you get to play a couple games in one day. It's good to get the blood flowing. Those guys are young enough to where it should not be a problem. But hey, like I said, it's going to be a fun show. Emeron Pilotti joining us here in about a couple minutes. He should be here anytime. We're going to talk sports cards. We're going to talk collectibles. I've got a question. How much has analytics affected the business of sports cards in predicting which players you might want to invest in, which players you might want to get off? I think that's going to be a really fun conversation. Like I said, make sure that you put your questions in the chat. I will get to as many as I can. What's up, Lydia? How you doing? Happy to have you here. Glad that you are checking in. Patrick back in the chat. As a post office clerk, I take in over 100 cards every day from one customer alone. Big change from 5 years ago. Yeah, and that's what I was kind of thinking. I don't want to be disrespectful to Emran, but I remembered the hobby is kind of an online hobby. I don't say a dying hobby, but a different hobby. You know, it just wasn't what it was in my eyes when I was a kid collecting. There used to be shops everywhere, but shops are popping up back again. And that market is big and booming. And I think it's a great thing for kids to learn too. What's up, Lath? I loved collecting sports cards in the early to mid 2000s, but they went away for a while. Glad it is coming back. I used to spend hours just looking at cards and talking sports, right? The cards were kind of the internet for us in a way because it had their stats on the back of the card, you know, like where else outside of a Beckett, outside of a newspaper, outside of a sports almanac, were you finding that information? You weren't, or at least that information in one spot. So very good point by you. And I am probably almost 100% sure of this one thing. At one point or another, everyone in this chat that has collected cards has had a mom, a dad, a brother, a cousin, a grandma, a grandpa, whatever it may be, throw a set of your cards out, not knowing what they were. For my wife, she had original Pokemon cards, the original ones. And I think I forget the really valuable one, not Pikachu, Charmander. I think it was Charmander. She had one of those. Those are going for stupid money these days. I mean, absolutely stupid money. So if you got a story about that, let me know. Haunted Horse, remember looking up prices on the Beckett? I did that in the 90s. Yes. I always felt bad for the card shop owners because it seemed like nobody ever bought the Beckett's. They just looked at the Beckett's inside the stores. You know, kind of like other magazines that your parents may or may not have had. I mean, what? Let's get Patrick in here to get me back on track. Definitely agree with the timeline, Lath Morris. Yeah, no doubt. He's right about the early 2000s. Yes, the Beckett rag. The Beckett was the thing, man. Talking about about sports cards. Wemba cards are worth thousands. Interesting. Well, like I said, this subject really popped the chat out of the blue. And I do have another friend that is in collecting that I've talked about, but all of you have had so many questions, so many stories about collecting. I see on X, we've got 225 that have already checked in. Thank you so much for being here on the King's Court. On YouTube, we're at 35. Make sure you give us a thumbs up. But as promised, we are going to be talking collectibles. We are going to be talking cards. Joining us today, he is the owner of True Cards and Collectibles in Rockland. You can also find him Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. on 1140, the True Sports Cards Show. I'm really happy to welcome in Emeron Pilotti of True Sports Cards. Emeron, thank you so much for taking the time, brother.
Of course. I'm here. I'm ready to rock. And I'm at home right now, which isn't the best place to be, but we are moving into a new warehouse facility. And the internet's not up and running yet. So in order to make sure your viewers are not watching this crazy dizziness, I'm going to stop this real quick.
You're good, brother.
It's making me dizzy. So
no worries. No worries.
So you guys, this is going to be great. I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys are moving into a new warehouse, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say where it's going to be, obviously, because
I wouldn't say either.
But our store has been growing. We recently opened in the mall not too long ago, but I'm going to be closing that down, and I mean that in a positive way. Going into a mall in retail is really different in 2024. I used to own a card shop when I was really young. I was 21, 22 years old at the time. I owned a card shop in a mall in Stockton. And then 9/11 happened, and nobody went to a mall anymore. So I built a 20-year real estate career in between that. And then 2 years ago, I started my card shop, and it's a totally different world. We opened in the mall, took over a business there in March, and come to find out that the mall traffic is just different. It's just a different setup. And with malls wanting more in rent, it just didn't make sense. So I'm announcing here roughly that we're going to be closing that one down and moving into a warehouse and really going towards our e-commerce business. And that's really my focus this year, is to increase the business that way.
Very cool. Emeron Pilotti joining us of True Sports Cards and Collectibles. You just got some breaking news right there. So dial me in, Emeron. How did your love for sports card collecting start? How did you get to where you're at now and built a business out of it?
It's real interesting, because whenever I hear these podcasts or live streams, I'm like, just get to the cards, dude. That's what I want to get to. So I'll make it very, very quickly. Lost my parents when I was really young, born and raised in Stockton. And when I lost my dad, I was 11 years old. My dad was 44. And what ended up happening was I kind of held on to sports cards and sports being my connection to my father. Sure. And, at 11 years old, losing your dad, it's pretty traumatic. So I used baseball cards to kind of get me through the tough times. I became an emancipated minor at 16, been on my own ever since. And my love for sports cards and memorabilia really has been my thing. And most importantly for me, I wanted to create an environment to where I had a sports card business shop, to where it was like where I was when I was a little kid, where I brought in, my dad brought me in, parents bringing in their kids, and having a safe and fun environment for them to be able to go into. And with today being, they call it the hobby, but it's far from it now. It's very much a business, with a lot of people no longer looking at it as, oh, you collect baseball cards? Are you a kid? Like, they know now. I mean, I was a high-level executive for a real estate company for years, leaving a mid-six-figure job to come and open a baseball card shop and being successful with hard work and the good people around me. It's like, wait a minute, you can make a career out of this? You sure can. And, we have a radio show, and we have all the things that are components to make sure that this happens. So when I had the opportunity to open my shop, I opened my shop I was 42 years old. I'm almost 47 now. And when I found out that I was having a son for the very first time, having a child at 44, I asked my wife, is it okay if we open a card shop? I really don't enjoy my real estate job right now.
Yeah.
Corporate real estate for the last 8 years, flying around the country, opening offices. And she's like, if you think you can make it happen, let's do it. So we had our son, His name is Beckett. I named my son Beckett.
No, that is awesome.
So in honor of Dr. James Beckett and the magazines that we used to go for the price guides when we were little.
Yes.
So my baby boy Beckett is my world. And randomly enough, my friend,
So cute.
Just to let you know, I had Beckett when I was 44 years old, just like when my dad left me at 44. So it's one of those chills stories.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm finishing what my dad couldn't finish. So
unreal. Talk about full circle.
So
unbelievable.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Amazing. So I guess I want to ask you this because you heard me for a little bit right before I brought you up, but I was more of the mindset a few years ago, again, hobby, not business. It seems like in the last 5-10 years, cards have boomed and turned into a business, like you said. So what's changed? How did the card business have a resurgence?
Well, I'll tell you that I think that it's had a nice, strong market. Grading really brought it to the forefront, right? Getting a card, sending it off to get graded by PSA, SGC, Beckett, one of those reputable companies. And then it became an X multiplier against the card. I could see some guys in the chat right now talking and saying recent sale is 3,700 raw as an example. So they're talking about cards ungraded. But once you get into that grading, it turns into a multiplier. So why wouldn't people do that? Now, last month alone, 1.7 million cards were sent in to be graded. 1.7 million. That means that there's 1.7 million cards that are going to come on the market over the next 6 months. And that's just this month alone. So the fervor for being able to turn multipliers, you can't do that with stock. If I buy a piece of stock, we hope, right? We cross our fingers that Amazon stock is going to go up because we own some. With this, you can actually turn multipliers on your own accord. You can change the value of your cards. Now, it could be good, it could be bad, but we're all hoping for that gem mint. But figure that a gem mint in some cases are a double multiplier, at least, than a raw card. So that alone has exponentially made it easier. Then pandemic happened. And what really came down into play was when you had cards that were, people that were not bettors and shoe flippers and those guys, they didn't have games to work with, right? So when there was no games going on, where could they put their money into to make things happen? So a lot of the bettors, people that normally bet and gamble on games, when there is no games, what do? You play the game of sports cards. And it inflated the market significantly. And we were seeing massive leaps. I'll give you an example. Let me just turn this down. I apologize for that.
You're good.
So what ends up happening was we had, I bought a Michael Jordan PSA 8, 86 Fleer, his rookie. I'm a Michael Jordan collector of rookie cards. I buy them and I hold them. But this case, I bought one on eBay. December of 2020, I bought it for $8,200. Okay. And I went to the Dallas card show roughly about 45 days later. I flew there, I went there, and I sold the card for $20,000 in 45 days later. That's how fast it was. Now, my background is in real estate. I've been in real estate since 2002. I remember Stockton, California, 2004 to 2005, 2005 to 2006. We were seeing 25% returns year over year, doing nothing other than just investing. And it felt that way during the pandemic. And then recently, I'd probably say in the last 18 months, we've had a come down of it. The bettors went back to betting. The shoe flippers went back to shoe flipping. And those that thought I buy today for $10, I'll sell it in 45 days for $40. When they didn't see those returns, they went back into whatever their next shoe flipping or betting game was into. So we've seen a massive spike during the pandemic, then a decline in the sense of values. But those who are willing to put in the work and be smart on the investing, they're still in this game and they're doing really well.
Incredible stuff. Emeron Pilotti joining us here on the King's Court Live. We're talking cards, collectibles. So analytics in pro sports. For some teams, it's changed everything. Some leagues, it's changed everything. To be in the business of cards, you got to understand sports as well. You got to project what players may do, players moving. what are you looking at when we're taking away our major guys, our LeBron James, our stars of the league? What are you looking at for those middle level guys to project your multipliers on what may be a good player or a bad player to hang on to?
So a couple of things I just want to framework because this is my first time on your show. I've been a Kings fan since I was as small as I can get. My dad took me to the first Kings game that was ever in Sacramento.
Love
So
it.
I was there with my foam finger and my baby blue starter jacket.
Old Arco.
Yes, and I'm as diehard of a Kings fan as it gets. I follow the team. My favorite player was Wayman Tisdale growing up, and then eventually, working my way through the eras. Bibby, I've worked with Jason Williams personally. Like he came to my shop and did autograph signings and
Sure.
stuff like that. So naturally, I fall into what's going to happen with the Kings, what's going to happen with Keegan Murray, what's going to happen with these investments from the Kings side of things because of my passion for the team. Now you're asking about the actual cards and the GOATs. You gave Brady, you gave LeBron as an example. I think that when it's all said and done, whether you have LeBron number 1, 2, or 3, we're looking at watching a GOAT every year. And when he is gone, just like we experienced with Kobe, we're going to miss him. And we're not really taking into account the true historic nature of what we have in front of us with Brady. Brady's now gone in that sense, right? But I look at it and say, well, where are we in a position to be able to invest in the very best cards of each player? And when you think of the natural go-to of each player, you think of Kobe, 1996 Topps Chrome. You think of Brady, 2000 Bowman Chrome. When you think of LeBron, you think of 2003 Exquisite. That's the $1 million card. But if you think about LeBron in the sense of an attainable one for today's general collector, the 2003 Topps LeBron where he's holding the jersey up, those cards, those are the iconic cards that people will always collect. And I treat those as mutual funds. So everybody's going to always want those cards. In this case, in 2023, everybody's going to want the Wemby Prism. There are many other very attractive, beautiful cards, but when it goes down to it, which is the rookie card? And so what I would tell anybody in the investment portion of it, if you want to collect and you're looking for the force multiplier when it gets graded, find the cards that are the rookie card for that player. In this case, as an example, Wemby 2023 Prism. And if you can get the silver or the one that's a refractor version of it, I would grab that, whatever your budget allows. But try to stick with, as an entry-level investor, stick with the cards that are considered the premier rookie card for them instead of the fringe ones. It's nice to own the fringe ones, but having the one that everybody trades and buys and sells, that's the way to go.
Very good. I love that you're a lifelong Kings fan. That is amazing stuff. We got a ton of Kings fans.
I'll be there tomorrow night at the California Classic to watch the Kings play. China?
Yeah, they've got the Lakers first in the afternoon, and then China in the evening.
Yeah.
So Keon Ellis,
doing it like a split squad,
somewhat. Some of the guys will be doubling over, but mostly a split.
Got it.
But man, with the Kings this offseason, I know you were really happy Malik re-signed for the product on the court, but also I heard you had a few Malik Monk jerseys hanging around.
Step back for a second. Dennis in the chat says, ask him if he jumped ship to the Warriors. The answer is absolutely not. I am a Kings fan, although financially, as if somebody that owns a card shop, we have to be, I like Curry. You know why? Because Curry sells.
Yeah.
Well, I like making profit. That's always nice. So you have to carry those. I remember, carrying Giant stuff through the 2010s when we were hot. You could sell the Bat Boy at that point. So winning cures everything. But as far as Dennis's question, absolutely not. I am a Kings fan through and through. I got the lower back tattoo. I don't, but I kind of do. It was a joke.
And I actually have a Kings tattoo. I'm announcing that here. There is a Kings tattoo somewhere on my body.
Okay, got it. I'm going to guess that it's not on your neck or your face. That's just a guess.
Good guess.
Yeah. So, okay. So your question was, I apologize. I went out of.
I was just joking around. You guys had some Malik Monk jerseys.
Yes.
Yeah. He had like 400 of them.
So Malik, Malik's agent and I worked out a deal. We have a big event every year called the Sacramento Autograph Expo. And I bring a bunch of players into town. And I'm very proud of being 209 and 916. I'm very, very proud of it. I'm loyal to my soil. I love our area. I'll never move away. I'm I'm very determined to make sure that we have success here in our area, give great jobs, create a great environment for collectors. That's what I want. And so I worked with Malik's agent last year to bring Malik to our event, and he was great. I mean, Malik is one of the very best to work with. He's so fun, very personable, good time with the kids. He's not cheap to bring into town,
I would
but
imagine.
right. But to be able to have access to one of the most popular players in today's roster, bringing that to the table is a big deal. So he was such a hit. I brought him again this year too, which was May, as in 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to tell you, man, his vibe was different.
Interesting. Explain.
I wouldn't say it was like great. He was awesome. Don't get me wrong. But like there was this, hey, Malik, are you going to stay? This is before the announcement.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it was one of those. And I was like, I looked at my guys. I go, I think this guy's gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just how could he leave $20 million on the table to not go to Detroit or go to, you look at what Tobias Harris picked up on his contract, 2 for 52. I mean, they were wanting to spend $20 million on somebody. Why wouldn't it have been Malik? And so, you're thinking this guy's gone. And he was really great. He did his time with us, and then he bounced. And I was like, I'm really hoping that these Malik Monk Kings jerseys that he signed, these 250 of them, I'm not going to be unstitching them and trying to put a 0 on a Detroit Pistons jersey, right?
Right.
And then when he announced on 1140, when I have my show, I was on Drive Guys, on 1140, and they're like, "Hey, in with us as a guest, Emeron Pilotti from True Sports Cards, the happiest guy that Malik Monk signed his contract." And I was like, "You're right. I'm very happy that he signed his contract."
Yeah, right.
I mean, who wants a Malik Monk Lakers jersey? Who wants a Malik Monk Charlotte Hornets jersey? Once a player moves to a different location, it's what have you done for me lately? I want the new thing. And it would have been a bad investment, but it turned out okay. And in honor of that, what I did was I did a $78 Malik Monk special. So you can get a Malik Monk custom signed jersey for $78 in honor of his $78 million contract.
Love that, dude. I love that you're giving back to the true fans. They show up, especially. And to your point about Malik, with his exit interview, he was big-eyed at free agency. A lot of questions surrounding that. But, there were teams willing to spend a little bit like your Detroits. But the market was really, really dry this year. And so I don't know if it was just bad timing for Malik getting his first real big free agency with the new CBA going into effect. But it didn't look like really much more than what the Kings offered was going to be on the table for him.
Well, 4 for 78, right? 4 for 78. You would know better than I. I think it's 3 with a player option on the 4th.
He's got the option on the back end if he wants to go back into free.
Yeah, and he's young enough to get a final contract. That's for sure. Depending, if he plays so aggressive that it reminds me a little bit like Allen Iverson. Just he's throwing his body without caution.
Sure.
So hopefully he stays healthy. But the passion that he brings to the table, he is. If Keegan had 1/18 of that passion, Keegan would be already more of a fan favorite, but just Malik pounding his chest and screaming at the crowd. He's just that guy. He's just that guy. And reminds me a little Weber-esque in the sense of getting the crowd fired up, But with Malik, I just feel like the greatest thing that he could have done was make the commitment so early that allowed Monty to make some decisions, including
100%.
the draft, including what he's going to do, hopefully over the next week or two. It's all quiet on the front right now, but we'd love to see an additional person come in there. Strangely enough, I have an exclusive agreement as a memorabilia guy with Kevin Herter.
Okay? Oh, wow.
Well, I have a 1-year agreement with Kevin Herter and his team. And
what does that entail when you have an exclusive memorabilia agreement?
So with the exception of Panini and Fanatics, and anything that Herter does charity-wise, like for the NBA or anything like that, all autographed items have to come through me and my company with Kevin Herter. I'm guaranteeing him a certain amount of money in order to be the exclusive agreement. Now, we haven't been able to execute as much as we can on that. Kevin got hurt right before we had a signing. Before he was like, I'll be able to sign at your event as long as we're still in the playoffs, and they had already gone out of the playoffs, and then he went back to New York. I don't know Kevin, but I do know that it seems like ever since he had the dud on the 3-point contest, there's been a little bit of a hitch or something going on with him that hasn't allowed him to produce at the level that he did previous to that.
Yeah, I think it's parlayed. That's part of it. I mean, shooters like him, it's much like a golfer. It's the littlest thing mentally, just as well as your technique, that can throw you off. But then on top of that, teams started guarding the Kings differently. They took away that dribble handoff that was there the year they made the playoffs. And so Kevin's one of those guys that's not really a shot creator. He's a finisher. And I think that really affected him. Teams sagging off of Domas, which took some of those looks away. Okay, really quick, we have a question from...
I see them all. I can answer all of them if you'd like, really quickly. Rockland is still open in the mall. We have 2 locations. The mall will be closing at the end of this month. However, the Rockland location is open. We'd love to have you. We're open 7 days a week. Malik is irreplaceable for the Kings. Ask him if Monk is going to start. I believe that Monk, in my opinion, with no inside knowledge, I believe part of the deal that he took was, I will come at 4 for 78 if a starting position comes in there. That's what I really believe. And if Herter stays on the team, I like Herter off the bench. I really like Herter off the bench because it relieves that pressure. I think if you and I, Ryan, had our salaries out in the world and people said, you're a great podcaster, or you're a great radio host, or you're terrible at it, or you're not worth your money. I'm 46. I don't know how old you are. You look very young. But
I appreciate it.
Herter's what, 26, 27?
26, I believe.
I could barely read comments in a YouTube section about me, but without me getting anxiety.
Totally.
Imagine being yelled at the game and all the pressure that these players, well, you make this much money and why aren't you making shots? I couldn't even imagine what that does to you psychologically. So I would just tell you that as long as the players of Sacramento King, we need to support our team. Yes, we could be frustrated. Yes, we could have some annoying moments. And yes, we want them to play better. But I promise you, they want to play better too. They want to do well too. I promise you they're not going out there and doing some, Olden Polony stuff.
Right, exactly.
So.
Well, the thing with Kevin, number one, I thought him coming off the bench last year at times when he was healthy, that's what kind of got him back on track. It allowed him to be a little more free flowing, but it's not just a Kevin thing. When you talk about your salary being out there versus performance, there's also the gambling aspect. Think about people that gamble every single day. I know people that watch this show that gamble and don't watch basketball. So you see what happens when a college player misses a kick. They start getting death threats. It's crazy. You almost have to be off of social media. You've got to have a layer between you and that if you're a professional athlete. I don't mind saying this. I've been open about it. I actually went to Gamblers Anonymous for sports betting. I was having a real problem when I was younger. And I've never touched a bet in almost 10 years now. And, but I know that I know spreads. I understand how that works. I could probably count within 1 point a spread in almost every case, just off the top of my head and seeing where we're at. Sure.
But when you have people that are literally living and dying off of their rent money or mortgage money, betting, degenerate gamblers are degenerate gamblers. And when they lose everything, they feel like, I need to transfer this anger, I need to transfer this frustration to the one guy or gal that's the reason for this. And when you miss that kick, dude, I couldn't pay for X, Y, and Z, taking zero responsibility for themselves. And so what I would tell you is that psychologically, people sometimes can't recover. They really can't. I represented Roger Craig for years in representation of autograph signings, etc. I represented him for 6 years. I stopped representing about 2 years ago. And you wouldn't believe when we would go to an event and they'd be like, hey, a nice fumble on that NFC championship game. And, you kind of go, what is, man, that was 35 years ago. And you're still screaming at this guy that made a mistake. Yep. And so when you see these death threats, or you see these really harsh criticisms, you're right. It's very difficult to be able to live in a social media world and try to scroll past that. I'll tell you, as an owner of a shop, when I get a negative review, like I'm tossing and turning that night, trying to figure out how I'm going to respond to this.
Because you care. It bugs you.
It doesn't happen very often. We're very lucky to have a great team at my store, and we really focus on the customer. So we're 4.97 on Google with over
Love it.
300 reviews. It's one of the most important things that we do. But when we got that guy that comes in with his crappy cards, and then he goes, "Will you buy these from me?" And I go, "Oh, it's really not for us." Keyboard Warriors ready to get to the review, right?
No doubt.
Well, it's a lot of that aspect of things. Haunted Horse has a question I don't mind answering if you want to ask it, Ryan.
The Haunted Horse, which one was it? This Haunted Horse guy always causes problems on this show. Let's see. Thanks for sharing your experience with gambling. Do you see a similar experience between gambling on a game and opening packs of cards to get rare rookies? The dopamine.
The dopamine effect is the same. He's right. Dopamine is the excitement of being able to have something that fills you with euphoria.
Sure.
You're excited, this opportunity. I think the difference is that when you're gambling, you're at the mercy of whatever's happening in front of you. With cards, you can select cards off of a shelf and say, I want that, and this stays within my budget. And I don't know if I want to try that again. A king's game is a king's game is a king's game. You're going to deal with that bet for that moment. Guys will get scratched at the last moment. Guys will say, I'm playing at the last moment. There are things that you cannot control. 100%. And if I was to get into collecting, one of the most exciting things is just, I'd do a little bit of a hybrid. I'd go get some boxes that maybe might have something special or exciting in the box that I would be having that great dopamine feeling of getting if it opens. And then I would go get a card that I absolutely wanted by choice. I see that in your case, Emeron. I want that card. I'm going to get that card, and I'm going to get that box, and I have a little bit of both. As long as you stay within your budget, whatever that feels comfortable to you, that's what we're for. And our shop in particular, I have everything from retail where you can get a pack for $1 all the way up to cards that you're getting, $10,000 a box.
Yeah, and I was just going to bring, sorry, I didn't mean to step on you. I was going to bring that up. By the way, you can scan the QR code. That'll take you right to the True Sports Cards and Collectibles website. Make sure you leave a good review, King's Quarters.
Only if you had a great experience, which I hope you do. Yes. I don't want to manufacture begging for 5-star reviews that we didn't earn.
I love the realness. I freaking love it. So cards and collectibles, and then we're going to get to a caller with a question, but cards and collectibles, you kind of hit on the expensive packs. You're seeing the two merge now, where collectibles are now being included in cards, whether it's game-worn uniforms, whether it's the logos. Do you see that continuing to be a thing? Because you can buy a box, I think, is it Panini, where you get like 3 cards, but they're guaranteed to be 1 of 1s or 1 of 5s. I'll let you take it from there.
So Panini is the master company that oversees a bunch of sub-brands underneath it. Panini's entry level is something really low end, like a Score, right? That's, I don't know, Ryan, if you collected when you were young.
Yeah, I did.
So when I was young, when I was 12 years old, Score came out in 1988 baseball. I was 11 years old at that time. And that's kind of your entry level. You can get a box of Score for $100, $150.
Sure.
That's low now. That's low entry for a hobby box. And it comes with 4 autographs in there. And then you can go all the way up to Panini's highest end product, which is Flawless.
Yes.
I have a box of Flawless available at my shop for $9,500, and it comes with 7 cards.
Yes.
7 cards.
Yes.
So it's and everything in between. So I think when you're looking at where do I spend my money, higher risk, higher reward. If you recall, maybe Ryan, about 2 years ago, there was a chase for the LeBron triple logo man.
Yes.
And what that was out of the Flawless that I'm telling you about.
Mm-hmm.
And it had 3 of the logo men from LeBron's jersey, one from his Lakers, one from the Heat, and one from the Cavaliers. So they took each one of those and they embedded it into a card, and they said, this is available. So whoever pulled it was going to become a millionaire. That card is worth $1 million. It closed at $1.6 million is what it closed at. Somebody pulled it out of a break. Those boxes were going for a little under $20,000 a box. 7 cards. Right? So rapper Drake and Ken Golden opened, I want to say 50 or 60 cases looking for the LeBron logo, man. They did it on camera. They didn't hit it.
Nothing.
But, it was fun. I guess Drake has that kind of money. I don't know many people who do, right?
Yeah.
But to open that many cases. But I guess the point of what I'm getting at is like, when people make those high risk, high reward moments happen, I feel like it's unattainable for the average collector. And I would love to see a really high-end chase card, very expensive, being in maybe some of those lower or mid-tier products. So that way, somebody a chance. I would love to see a 14-year-old, 12-year-old, 10-year-old kid pull out a LeBron one-of-one type card that would fetch somewhere between $10,000 and $20,000. I would love to see something like that instead of having these completely unattainable to the average consumer amount. So now the other thing too is Fanatics is taking over all the licensing.
Interesting.
Michael Rubin is one savvy and savage businessman, and in the background, he bought Topps when it was going out of business. So he has the legacy of a 60-year-old company that he instantly took over.
Wow.
And then he went to all of the major sports, NBA, NFL, and Major League Baseball, and said, I'd like to be your provider of sports cards, and I'm going to cut you in on the deal. Instead of paying a licensing fee, we're going to cut you in on part of the deal.
Wow.
The major sports said, wow, what a beautiful slice. It's bigger than what we were getting before. We'll do it. They pulled it. So all of the licensing will move to Fanatics and Topps in the next 2 years, and Panini's going to be on the outside looking in. So
very interesting.
Lame duck.
Very interesting. We bring in, this is Corn Dog to us. Corn Dog, wake up, my man. Thought you had a question.
Whoa, he was sleeping.
You were sleeping? What are we doing?
Man, I'm out of it, man. Last night was rough.
Wake up!
I didn't go to bed till like 12 last night. Those fireworks got to me.
Only here on the King's Court. Anyways, what's your question for Emeron?
Oh no, so I'm actually more into the video game collecting side of things, and that market has gone up crazy since COVID.
Well, I was gonna say I'm familiar with all that stuff too, man. I grew up with the regular Nintendo where I would blow into the cartridge and put it in there. I'd play Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Oh boy,
Super Mario Brothers.
So look at that right there. I got the Japanese orange exclusive GameCube and the Japanese orange Pikachu right there.
Okay, you win. And let me see your shirt.
Mario.
There you go.
Mario.
Mario. So, did you have a question, or you just want to brag that you're a video game?
No. I then talked about like how grading goes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, great. I know video game and comic grading. They're super up there. Like I see some those 9s, those 9.2s, 9.4s.
Yeah, the grading company for
DC,
the grading company for video games is WADA, if I'm not mistaken.
There's WADA too.
WADA.
Yeah,
that's kind of the PSA standard. I would you wanted to know like where we're at with the grading of the world, and where I would tell you that grading allows the internet to be a beautiful marketplace. You may say, let's go back to your video games, and you go, hey, you know what? I have this game, this Nintendo game, and it's in great condition.
Here, let's take a look at one right now.
You're graded. You're great.
We're not grading video games on the spot. Come on.
Right. But what I'm saying to you is your version of great condition might be different than mine. Right? My idea that a Pete Rose rookie card is in great condition might be different than yours. So what happens is when you get it graded, we have a third party come between us and say, we've determined that out of 10, this is an 8. And with it being an 8, it's not your argument or my argument. Now it's an 8. Now it has a fixed price attached to that grade. Go ahead and show me what you're going to show me.
I got, let's see. Usually my N64 games are pretty well conditioned that I get. No markings, usually none of that, nothing on the back really. All the labels intact. That's usually what I'll go for because I'm going to play these ones.
That's a Super Nintendo game, right?
This N64.
N64, okay.
Yeah, that's usually what I go for, just mainly, no markings, none of those names on the back that parents did or whatever. Or even
your version of that My version is the NES, the regular Nintendo, where we'd have to blow into the cartridge to get it to work. You know, I know Ryan wanted to focus on cards, but we appreciate you showing us all these fun.
Yeah. And then also, with video games, it's also the boxes, the old boxes.
Sealed. The first Mario Brothers, the first edition one came up for sale. Correct me if I'm wrong, both of you. I believe it was a couple of years ago. It was, or at least it was on Pawn Stars. That's what it was. They wanted $1 million for it.
If you watch the Netflix special right now, King of Collectibles with Ken Golden, they have season 2 out, and they recently went into a house. You're going to nerd out, Corn Dog. Go check that out. And he has like an entire multi rooms of all of these games that they have. And strangely enough, weirdly enough, Ryan, GameStop is now buying cards, actual cards.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you can go in there with anything that's graded 9s or 10s, even including Pokemon or sports cards, and they will give you an offer for it.
Interesting. So Dennis had a question about grading. Let me see if I can find that.
He wants a Monk jersey. That's what he wants.
Oh yeah, we could do that. We can. I'll tell you what, Ryan. I don't know if you have the ability to do a giveaway for your callers or
yeah.
your. I'll let you determine how you want to give that away. Maybe you do it on your next show, so that way we can do it. I'll be willing to donate you one of those Monk jerseys, so that way you can give that away, and they can come to the store and pick it up. Cool.
Love it, Em. Thank you. Holy crap. That is freaking awesome. Hey, Corn Dog, appreciate the call, brother.
I'm going to
go back to sleep.
Yeah, go back to sleep, man. Go back to sleep. Thank you so much. Break it here. Emeron's going to give us a Malik Monk jersey, courtesy of the shop. Make sure whoever wins that, you go in and check that out. I'll talk with him offline, and we'll make sure we get that set up
for your next
really
show.
Good. So, hey, I got to ask you one last question because I don't want to take all your time. All of us have.
I freed up my entire day for you. So keep me as long as you need to, or send me out the door when you're ready.
All right. I love it because the next guy that just called in is definitely going to want to talk to you. So you hear these horror stories. Somebody has always got a story about, oh, my mom threw away my box of cards, yada, yada, yada. What are some of the worst ones that you've heard from some of your customers or friends in the trade?
What was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that happened.
Yeah.
I had a guy come in, and his brother had taken his collection of vintage cards, and he says, I'm getting my collection back from my brother. He's had it since we were little kids, and he's now giving it back to me because he just doesn't have space for it, and his kids don't want it anymore. So the guy comes in and he brings it in, and he has this binder, and he had never messed with it before. And he had opened it up, and he was like, tell me that this isn't real. And I looked at him and I go, dude, I'm so sorry. He had a 1952 Mickey Mantle top. And the brother had cut around Mickey, around Mickey, and glued it to the page like a scrapbook. Okay. Keep in mind, this is the same card that in a PSA 10 grade last year sold for $25 million.
Oh my gosh.
So this guy, his brother, when they were little, cut around it. So that way it's just the Mickey Mantle's, face and head and shoulders.
Yeah.
It was stuck to a scrapbook page with glue. It probably has some value still, but at that point,
probably would.
Oh my goodness, I couldn't believe that the poor guy did that. Yeah,
oh my gosh. So this is our resident card collector. This guy gets them on the daily, it seems like. BJ, welcome in. You're on with Emron and Rhino.
What's going on, man?
Hey, glad to be in. It's nice to meet you, my man. I'm an old head. I have cards from when it's maybe 9 or 10. I have like Ricky Henderson's rookie card and some other old. What's that?
How old are you now?
Oh, I'm 54.
You're 54?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I need to eat what you eat, man.
Dude, I had the same reaction when you said
look young.
6. I'm like, come on.
54 is when you were collecting. Everybody really kind of collects when they were like 10 to 12. That's when they really got into it. 10 to 12 years old. So you were collecting like mid 70s, early 80s, right?
Yeah, I was collecting because my family had season tickets to the Oakland Coliseum. I'm from the
Okay.
East Bay, so I saw all those. I went to the first Raider game in 1975 and saw a bunch of A's games from about 5, 6 years old all the way through. I ended up moving back to the Bay Area and like going to a lot of Candlestick games. It's just
Okay.
incredible being around
So you
those
watch
people, you know.
you watch those late 80s A's is what you're saying. The man, check this out. And this is just off the top of my head because I was an A's fan growing up. I'm a Giants fan now because I did not like designated hitter. As I got older, I was like, I don't like the strategy of that. And then now it's all designated hitter. But I mean, we had Ricky Henderson opening. They had Carney Lance. I'm going through the batting lineup. Ricky Henderson, Carney Lansford, Canseco hit third, McGuire hit fourth.
Yep.
Fifth was Dave Henderson. Sixth was Dave Parker. Seventh was Terry Steinbach. 8 was Walt Weiss. And 9 was some sort of platoon between Mike Gallego, Tony Phillips, or Glenn Hubbard. That was the lineup that really kind of I grew up around. So I'm a big baseball guy when it came to that too.
Yeah, that's awesome. What's your take on vintage cards? I have old cards and a couple sets. I have like Jordan's rookie sticker set that year and his year rookie, and I also have his second year sticker set.
Yeah.
But I'm of the school of I didn't get any of my stuff graded. I have them in hard plastics. I have like a Roberto Clemente. I met this lady that her husband had for a very long time, and he stored it in a coffee can with no coffee. He just stored it in there. And then he died, and he left a note saying he wanted somebody that really appreciated cards. And she was auctioning. I ended up getting a hold of her and wrote her an email, and then she called me, and she ended up selling it to me for a very cheap price. And it's kind of got like a brown around it's a beautiful card. It's a 1956 Roberto Clemente rookie card. But I would never send that in to get it graded. But the story of it, what's that?
Why would you not want to get it graded?
Because for me, it seems like the grading companies need someone like me, if the fan that is willing to invest in a card or to hold on to it or buy one. You know, I got a Wembayama the other day. I'm not much of a new school, but I know about buying low and holding on to something. Let's
answer your question real quick. So when you talk about that Roberto Clemente rookie card, I believe it's 55, if I'm not mistaken. It's 55, 54, something like that. Getting it graded through us at our store, if you come into our store and you get one card graded with SGC, it's going to cost you $20, right? That's it. We're going to send it off to Florida. I overnight them in a package with other cards that we send out. And you're going to get that back roughly in about 3 weeks, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, about 3 weeks. But what I'm getting at, because the Clemente rookie is horizontal, it'll be like, horizontal, not up, down.
Yep.
And there you go. There it is. And if you look, you know what that looks like? It looks like it's been trimmed. The reason I'm saying that is because I don't see that having the full edge borders on it. So what I would tell you is it's still worth sending that in and getting it slabbed and having it encased in something that's going to protect it moving forward. As air gets into it, the older the card gets, the oxidation. I mean, it's already been beat up. Let's not get it beat up anymore. At $20 to get that thing graded, you're going to feel a sense of security knowing that card has been encapsulated. Another thing, too, in regards to cards like that, is that you want to know if the card's been tampered with. So there are cards that I'll send in, and I think it looks great. And then come to find out, under microscopic check, they go, oh, you know what? Somebody took a black pen and colored some of this. And it would say authentic altered, but it has been, color added. So as a collector, you want to verify that card is, in the condition as best as it can be given. They won't give you a grade. They'll just say that this is an authentic card, but they did have some alterations to it. But having that encapsulated is far better than having it not. So it's well worth it for you to do. And when it comes to vintage, I love SGC because it's cheaper per card and the values are very strong against PSA. So like if you had a PSA card that was worth $100, SGC is right there, like around $90 to the PSA's 100. So it's within 5 or 10% of the value when it comes to vintage. When it comes to new, it's very different. You're probably 70 cents on the dollar versus a PSA card. So I would just tell you that vintage is well worth it. And most importantly, come in, spend some time with our team. It doesn't matter if it's me or anybody else, and we'll go, don't do this card, definitely do this card, and have it be worth your while.
That's awesome. Thank you for your input and your feedback. What I'm wondering is that do you set in multiples, like a high, like send in a high number of cards to get graded? And is there a way that somebody could get caught up in that and like ride the wave? Like the more you get graded, the cheaper it is, and maybe send in a group with you.
PSA does not. I don't get any discounts from PSA for bulk, but SGC I do. So with SGC, if you send me one card, $20, we take care of everything: the shipping, sending it off, getting it set up, returning it, all that stuff. But if you do 20 or more cards with SGC, we knock it from $20 to $15 for you per card. So you can get 20 cards graded for $300. Comes back in roughly about 3 weeks. With PSA, we charge $30 per card, but it takes a long time. And it's one of those where you're going to get the multiplier, but sometimes you have to pay more for it. If you get a PSA 10 Brady card, as an example, 2000 Brady Bowman Chrome, the value of a PSA 10 versus raw would be right around $1,000, maybe a little bit less. A PSA 10 is like, $4,000, $5,000.
Yeah.
So PSA goes, hey, guess what? Because your card is now worth $5,000, we're going to charge you a little bit more of an upcharge. It's almost like you win, so we got to win too. With SGC, they grade the card. This is what it costs. So yes, you may get more in PSA, but if you think of the cost of getting it graded, it may eat up the difference in what the value is, your equity in that thing, because they've upcharged you, whereas SGC would not. So even though SGC may not sell for as high, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. And if you had to pay $200 to get a card graded versus $20 to get a card graded, how much better is it if you try to sell something and it may be worth more, but you paid more to get it that way?
Yeah, Imran, why is there different respect levels attached to the different grading companies, or I guess a pecking order? PSA seems to be the best, and then so on and so forth.
So yeah, in the hierarchy of it all, and keep in mind, my son's name is Beckett, so I hate the fact that they're so far down the line. But in the hierarchy of it, most interesting to least, it would be PSA number 1, SGC number 2, Beckett number 3, and another company called CGC is number 4. Okay. Outside of those 4, everything else is just, I don't know, fringe stuff that I wouldn't necessarily take seriously. There's a company called GMA. They're all 3-letter alphabet soups, right? GMA. When I see a PSA 10 in one of those, I'm like, or a GMA 10, it's like, to me, it's like the card doesn't even have a grade to it. So if you like it because you want your card in there, great, go get it. It's $10 to get done. But if you're looking for it to have a multiplier, that ain't the company to do it with.
Got it. Very interesting.
And why,
yes,
and
Dennis.
Why is it that way? Dude, it really always comes down to the longevity of the old hats that go, I remember when I first started using PSA and I'll never use another company again. And that's really what it's like. So when the pandemic happened, a bunch of these companies came out of nowhere. HGA with custom slabs, FCG, Forensic Grading Service. All these other companies came in. And because these young kids didn't have the stigma of, I remember when PSA did, because they're new and they're young, they're like, HGA is pretty cool. They make a custom slab that matches the color of my cards. I'm going to go with them. So you saw success from each of these companies with no type of quality control or any kind of longevity of having valuations. And that's why they survived during the pandemic, and now they're pretty much dead. So yeah. There's one as an example called Arena Club. It's backed by Derek Jeter. It's not getting much traction. It's just not getting much traction. I think that if you're going to get into it for the investment purposes of it, stick with the top 3 and maybe top 4 if you count CGC in there.
Very interesting. The other question I have before BJ shows you another card is, what would you say to somebody looking to invest in a fractional share of a very valuable card?
Hate it. And here's
Me
why.
too.
Yeah. I have a friend by the name of Ryan Chang. He's a master collector when it comes to sneakers as well as high-end cards. And Ryan's well known for selling on Sotheby's the Yeezy shoes, the ones that he wore at the Grammys. Ryan was the owner. It sold for $1.6 million at Sotheby's. The buyer of that was a company called Rally, and they fractionally bought into it. So they sold 1,000 shares to raise the money to purchase those shoes for $1.6 million. Well, then what ended up happening was, so we all, BJ owns 1/1000th, I own 1/1000th, you own 1/1000th, right? And then Kanye went on his rant, and he went on his, downfall, and that shoe dropped massively in value. In fact, Raleigh got out of it. I think they sold it for about $170,000.
Oh.
So when you think about that, it's 1/1000th to me, but that's what, 10 grand?
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
I don't know the math. I went to high school in Stockton, but imagine I went to public school in Stockton.
Come on.
If you multiply that out, 1.6 million, and you divide it by 1,000 shares, what does that come out to be?
It's about $1,600, I think.
Maybe more, maybe I don't know what it might be, but I guess what I'm saying is my investment's gone, and I don't have control on what happens. I wasn't in control when we bought it and what we do with it. I wasn't in control if we should sell it. I may be screaming with my 1/1000th of a fractional share, yelling, "Sell this thing! It's crashing! It's crashing!" And the owners and the majority partners who are controlling that go, "Nope, we're going to ride this bad boy out.
Right.
And we're just along for the ride." And I'd much rather take my investment of $1,500 or $10,000 and let me be the steward of my money to determine what I'm going to do with it, because I can get out of a card or I can get into a card. And I actually want to talk a little bit about that after BJ shows me the
for sure. It's 1,600. I come from the legal field before I started this whole podcasting thing, but my San Diego State math worked. So. All right, BJ,
what you got,
brother?
Hey, so I just wanted to flash you a few rookie cards, and what they mean to me may mean something different to you, and that's what is amazing about some cards. So I pulled this out. This isn't a rookie card, but this is kind of one of my favorite cards.
Sure.
I got a couple of those. I got this card. I bought a box. I'm not much of ripping packs, but I did get a couple of select, and I bought one hoops. I got that. I don't know if I'm going to invest.
BJ, that's actually a special version of that card called Winter. You can see the snowflakes on there.
Yeah, on the back. Look at it. It's kind of cool. So it's a postcard.
Like a postcard. Yep, cool card.
It's kind of cool. Look at this one. Got an old school Gale Sayers. I believe this is his rookie. We're kind of proud about this.
That is not his rookie. That's his third year.
His third year. How about this one?
That's a Kobe rookie. That's a 96 Topps Kobe rookie.
That's his. That's considered his rookie card, right? I mean, I guess he has a few of them.
Well, when you talk about the one that's kind of the go-to, the one that everybody loves, it's that image, but in Topps Chrome. So the Chrome version of that card.
Okay. So I do have a Chrome rookie. So what do you think about rookie signed cards?
Rick Barry's one of my friends. I own a business with Rick Barry.
Really?
That is, yeah. We own a business together. Rick Barry's a good friend of mine, and with that card in particular, that's his rookie card. I love signed rookie cards. One thing that you want to do is might want to get that encapsulated. What that means is getting it graded by PSA. When I say graded, it's not like a score of 1 to 10. It's a real or not real. So it's an. I'll grab one here shortly, and I'll show you what that looks like. We charge $25 to get it done for you. We send it off to PSA. They go, "This is real, BJ. We're going to put it into a slab. It's going to say trading card, authentic autograph, certified by PSA, and it says this card is definitely Rick Barry that would sign that." Can I see that card again? He has a beautiful signature, and he tells me from the time that I start, whether it's card number 1 or card number 40 or 400 and it's signing, they're all going to look the same. So he really takes pride in his autograph. Yep, great card. That's his rookie card, ABA rookie.
Wow.
Yeah,
strong.
I'm really proud of that.
BJ.
I got this. I picked up this rookie.
Caitlin Clark, Bowman Chrome U. There's nobody hotter. I would tell you that the reason why people are talking about the WNBA right now is because of one person.
Spot
We
on.
knew that it was coming down the pipeline. And I will tell you that when I look on ESPN.com, Secretariat, the horse couldn't sign that. Not only has he passed away, but for some reason he couldn't hold the pen in his hand.
No,
they
it was
get him to hold it in
Seabiscuit.
his mouth.
Yeah, it was Seabiscuit. He bit a little nibble. He nibbled a little off the corner on there. And then I got this old school one from I think it's like 77.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
77.
They started in 86.
Okay, so I got my numbers reversed. How about this one? Look at that.
That's called KO.
Cool.
That's a boxing card out of with Muhammad Ali. They're not worth a ton unless they're graded, but if they come back a PSA 10, that card's somewhere between $50 and $100.
But the thing about this card, I grew up in an era where I would turn on the TV to channel 3, 10, or 13, and I would watch Muhammad Ali or Sugar Ray Leonard or Roberto Duran or Alexis Aguero, or like when boxing was boxing before Don King killed it. That this one's Jordan.
But going back to the
Jordan's
boxing,
my man.
we all watched the ABC Wide World of Sports. Boxing was part of that. It all started off. If you remember, it was the skier that was jumping off the lift and he crashed, and then Howard Cosell was that in particular show often had Muhammad Ali and boxing greats on there. I was a boxing fan growing up, but as you got into all the different divisions and companies, it just kind of got muddled. Bob Clemente before by Roberto officially, but we have an autographed Bob Clemente Roberto Clemente signed ball in our store.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
I'm a big time Roberto Clemente collector. I haven't got any of them graded, but I'll probably certainly take some of my old ones. Come by and see you and get them encapsulated, especially the ones that are important.
Yeah, let's do it. Great to talk to you, BJ.
Love it. Thanks for the call, BJ.
See ya.
Good stuff from BJ. So how often do you have to talk people through that emotional connection? He's like, but look, I turned on the TV at channel 3, channel 10, how do you separate that? Because that's somebody that's passionate about what they have, right?
Keep in mind, so I have a guest spot on Drive Guys with 1140. And I have my own show. I have my own show on Saturday mornings on 1140 at 10 a.m. And when I do the Drive Guys show, people will call in, they want to talk to me about asking some ideas. And it's always this right now. It's the funniest thing. I'll get stuff like this. Hey, I was at the Rockland camp for the Niners. And what happened was I had my shirt signed by Tom Rathman. And it was on the shoulder. And then underneath my cap, I had it signed by, JJ Stokes. And I was wondering what it's worth. I go, how much is your sweaty hat from the Rockland training camp with JJ Stokes signed upside down in her hat? Thanks for the memories is probably what I would say.
Exactly.
I'm not going to be able to sell something going, hey guys, Rhino, I got this beautiful item for you to buy. It's a sweaty cap from a guy that was at a Rockland, signed by JJ Stokes, William Floyd, and RJ McQuarters. Okay, do you want to buy it?
No.
You want to have it? No. Right? And so it's just better off to keep those memories and keep your sweaty hat and know that that's what it is. Now, if you wanted to get into the collectible game it comes down to stuff that's just rare. If you come in and say, I have a Willie Mays signed glove that he was there and he signed this item and I can get it authenticated. Emeron can get it authenticated. Then sure, I have interest in it because, he's Willie Mays. Not only has he passed away, but the last 15 years have been a lot of fakes, lots of fakes.
Really? That's
I talked about this on my show. Willie Mays was basically 90% blind for the last 15 years, blind in one eye for sure, and very little sight in the second eye. And then confirmed his last few years of life, he's been blind. So when you see these things flooding the eBays of the world, and you see Willie Mays, he's got Willie Mays signature, and it says 660 home runs, and it's in perfect condition, and the signing looks great. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, right? Not happening.
No, and people are unfortunately buying into that because it has a certificate of authenticity or
Easy to fake,
right,
of course.
simple stuff. So
Yeah.
you got to go to one of the big three authenticators. We recently did an event at my store last week to where people would come and drop off their stuff. I got it authenticated by PSA DNA. They stickered it. They failed some. They passed some, and then we return it. People are picking up their items today, and we had
Cool.
we had a Michael Jordan fail. We had a Willie Mays fail, and we had a bunch of Gale Sayers fail. But over 400 items, only 35 of them had failed, and the rest of them were very happy customers because it confirmed that the item was authentic and real and autographed, and it turned into that version of a multiplier too.
Sure. How has NIL affected the market in collectibles?
I think that it's affected in the sense that it's now shut down the ability to get an athlete in the amateur world to sign your item. Before it was like kind of cool. You can catch them, you catch a college player in the parking lot and they would sign something. Now they won't roll out a bet for less than a few bucks. Right. And
Sure.
so it all started with the fact that college did billions of dollars in revenue and never shared it with their athletes and said, you're fortunate that you're getting a scholarship. You're getting this
It's
opportunity.
more than enough. Yes.
But 99% of those athletes never play in a sport that allows them to make more money past that in a professional manner. You've got your baseballs, you got your basketballs, you got your footballs. But for the most part, the far majority of players, if you think about an NBA draft, you're getting 60 draft picks maybe every year. And then the rest of them are either playing overseas, G League, or whatever. So how many college basketball players are not selected? So it's their opportunity to make their money through NIL, name, image, and likeness.
Yeah.
And I believe that they should get whatever they get on the open market. But when you're making an investment, it's really tough. Livy Dunn, who's Paul Skeens' girlfriend, somebody that she plays, or she's a gymnast, I believe, for LSU. Her social clout is so strong that if you, Rhino, said, I want to create a post about Kings Court Live, and I want Livy Dunn to do one post about me, she's going to charge you $50,000 or more to do one post. That's how powerful her brand is. So when you think of NIL and what they get paid from the different sponsorship opportunities, Caleb Williams said it best. Why would I declare now when I'm making $5 or $6 or $7 million right now as a college football player?
Exactly.
I get more through my NIL than I would with my contract with the Bears.
Exactly. And that's why as things progress in an NIL era, you're going to see people and players coming into the professional leagues asking for more. Caleb Williams reportedly wanted a percentage of ownership with the Bears. Well, look at the business that his business is bringing to the Bears. So
and I think also it allows that you're going to see a lot more players not participating in stuff. You're going to see players not playing their bowl game. You're going to see players not playing, in an all-star game or a senior bowl. You're going to see that not happen anymore. You're seeing players not do it now. I don't think Caleb Williams played in his
no, he didn't. And then I think Notre Dame, whoever they played in their bowl game, I think it was the Sun Bowl. It was like a spring game. Everybody that was going to be in the draft obviously pulled out, and that started before NIL. So certainly, and I mean, what a lot of people don't know too, these guys get insurance policies on their bodies before they even go into the pros.
I am shocked that we have professional athletes playing at the Olympics, like the NBA players. In fact, you've heard that Andrew Wiggins has been told by the Warriors, we do not want you playing for Team Canada.
Yep.
Talk about, you have me under contract during the year in order to play and have my responsibilities for the NBA. If I want to represent my country, and now you're telling me I can't, I have a problem with that. But I do understand the business aspect, because if he gets hurt, look at the trouble that they're having with Zach LaVine trading him from the Bulls. They can't give away that guy's contract.
Exactly.
If Andrew Wiggins, something happens to him and he's being used as trade bait, which he should, they've got to protect their investment.
100%. And that's all in. I think the difficult thing, and here's the legal side of me, it depends what's in the contract. If the language is ambiguous about what they can block and what they can't, then sometimes there's an argument, but you don't know what is in the contract. It might explicitly state the team has the option to not allow you to play. But
And I think we have enough evidence to where people shouldn't be doing stuff. You have Madison Bumgarner, who hurt himself, riding a ATV, I believe it was, and was out. Jay Williams, the really great
motorcycle
analyst, he hurt himself after his rookie year in a motorcycle accident and never became the Jay Williams from Duke that he should have turned into. Yep. And so you have these very risky things. And going all the way back to my Kings fandom, sometimes you can even hurt yourself playing video games. Lionel Simmons, the great L Train, hurt himself playing Nintendo, and he had to take a few games off because he was playing too much.
Good pull, Emeron. Good pull, my man. Yeah. Hey, it has been so much fun having you here on this show today, and thank you so much for those that didn't hear. If you are just tuning in, Emeron is joining us from True Sports Cards and Collectibles. Go check them out Saturday mornings on 1140, 10 a.m. Go check out the store in Rockland. You can hit the QR code right there. That'll take you to their website. We are going to be doing a giveaway, a signed Malik Monk jersey. Him and I will get online about that after the show and figure something out. So one of you here on the King's Court will have the opportunity to go in or have a chance to win that and go pick it up in the shop in Rockland. Thank you so much. I got to get you out to a Kings game. I got to get you out to a Stockton Kings game. So I
was a Stockton Kings season ticket holder when I lived there, and I got to see Harry Giles up close. I got to see, I think Justin Jackson did a couple back and forths there, and I just really enjoyed the arena. Having something there for the Kings connection. Bobby was coaching there for a little bit, and I would tell you that if you want me on again, I love this. It was a lot of fun. So just call me and we'll make it happen. But you and I need to connect later when you're done with your show, and we can talk about getting you that Malik Monk information so that way you can do a giveaway in any way that you want. So let me know. You get a hold. Feel free to call the shop. If you have any questions, 916-259-1993. That's 916-259-1993. Our website address is truesportscards.com. And come and check us out. We'd love to see you.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Emeron, thank you so much for making the time, brother. This was awesome. We'll have to do it again. And yes, I'm going to get you to Nena's, and then
we'll got to get you on my show. I got to get you on my show on Saturday.
I would love it.
Tomorrow we have a guy, Ryan from Sports Card Radio, one of the most controversial dudes out there, because he just puts it out there as far as his opinion. So we'll have Ryan on Sports Card Radio. But I have open guest slots. So if you ever want to come into the studio, we'll have a good time.
Let's do it, Imran. I love it. All right, brother. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much for joining us again here on the King's Court. Bye. Holy moly. How about that, y'all? Was that a ton of fun or what? Emeron Pilotti, owner. And what a great guy. Are you kidding me? How about that story? I'd ask the question, just how did you get into this? Were you expecting the depth behind that? That was incredible. I mean, a roller coaster of emotion hearing that, to the point where he has his first son and names him Beckett. Are you kidding me? What an incredible story. Talk about a knowledgeable and bright guy, too. Make sure. So the link to the shop right up there, the QR code, you can scan that. That will take you to the website for True Sports Cards and Collectibles out in Rockland. We will be doing a Malik Monk jersey, signed jersey giveaway, compliment of Emeron and the team out there at True Sports Cards and Collectibles. Great stuff. Corn dog, dude. Corn dog. What do I need to do to wake you up?
Real men of genius.
Was that a real men of genius move by you? Or was it a...
What?
Was he really sleeping? Corn dog. My man, I appreciate the dedication, but... really cool stuff. The market for collectibles, the market to me is incredibly interesting. And then the other thing is, what a better way to teach your kids how to run a little business. It's something that Dennis, by the way, Dennis is already measuring up. He thinks he's winning this contest right now. He thinks that it is his to win. I don't know, Dennis. We'll see. But we will come up with that. That's going to be a lot of fun. And don't forget, you can catch Emeron and the crew at 10 a.m. on 1140s, the True Sports Card show. Make sure you check him out. I have checked that show out. It has been a lot of fun. They talk a ton of sports and the market. But again, I think about whether it's Pokemon cards, whether it is sports cards, it's such a great way for kids for a very low price to get in the door, to start taking care of something, right? That's not living and breathing per se, but to learn about something. You learn about business, you learn about sports, and then the excitement, the pull, right? You can go on not eBay, you can go on YouTube, find all these videos of people that are, opening boxes up and opening expensive boxes, but there's nothing like that. I remember growing up doing right? He was amazing. I thought he was great. Derek keeping it real. He wants DeRozan. Let's see. Patrick was expecting a blockbuster and instead interesting, knowledgeable gentleman or huckster. Excuse me. Incredibly professional. Are you kidding me? You can see why he works with the likes of Malik Monk, Rick Barry, Roger Craig, just to name a few. Knows his stuff. Incredible story. Such a fun time having him. Really excited to definitely stay in touch with Emeron and make sure again. Yes, they do have Disney. You're right, James. They've got cards for everything. In fact, I saw cards from, if we're going to talk about Disney Wide World of Sports, do you guys remember the high diving competition from SeaWorld? Yeah, I'm not joking around. Literally, SeaWorld, people diving from 232 feet. Incredible stuff. So, hey, like I said, Fridays are open phone Fridays. We're going to get you all in here starting. Oh, uh-oh. Am I seeing this right? I'm sorry, y'all. Really quick, really quick. In the chat, if you want to hear from Haunted Horse, if you want Haunted Horse to be a part of the Friday show, put a 1 in the chat. Let's see how many 1s come up really quick. Should we bring Haunted Horse on to the show? Look, first vote there. No Haunted Horse. He sucks. Can it? You know what? That is a
real men of genius.
That's a genius comment there. All right, why not? Let's bring in our dude from Portland, Mr. Haunted Zay Horse. It's your Friday hit time.
What's Friday hit. No Friday hit. I don't think there'll be a Friday hit next week because
I don't think there will be.
I am on vacation unless I do it from my phone. That's possible. I might be able to come in with my phone, see how the family does it. But you know what? Corn Dog, he inspired me. Corn Dog. You had your guest on from Sports Collectibles, and he's like, oh, Sports Collectibles? Yeah, F that. I'm going to show you all my video games. Well, I'm going to show you, since Corn Dog did video games, I'm going to show you my Star Wars action figures. Get your guest back. Tell me, I got Darth Vader here, and Yoda, what's my Yoda worth, Mr. Sports Card? Come on, Corn Dog, come on.
It was legendary. You know what? I almost feel like Corn Dog deserves the Monk jersey. Like I almost don't even want to do a contest now from Emeron and the guys at True Sports. Oh,
similar to Sports Cards, video games. Oh, that cracked me up.
So,
that was funny. Hey, your guest, that dude was savvy. Of course, he has a show, so that makes sense. But he rolled with it. He didn't go like, dude, I don't know anything about it. No, he's like, okay, I get that. He's interacting. It was good. Good
He
stuff.
was great. Emeron was absolutely amazing. I had never actually talked to Emeron one-on-one until today. What an amazing dude. Like, set aside the business. What a great guy, well-spoken, amazing. So very lucky to have him on the show today.
And
What's
my
up,
question,
man?
I read it again. I'm like, I hope I didn't, I asked him to me, ripping a pack of sports cards, because I got into those in the 90s, and I do not have a gambling problem, but I have where I could see that I could turn into a gambling problem if I didn't watch it. I'm one of those people. I every once in a while, I probably do spend a little more money on it than I probably could have afforded. And I go, whoa, dude, what are you doing? So I have seen the similarity from ripping packs to try to get, for example, the Prism Wemby. If I was to do that or whatever, I used to rip packs and I'd buy the old wax packs and try to pull Joe Montana rookies and stuff like that. And I spent money, and like he said, know how much you can afford to spend. And so that's why I asked that question. Someone that admitted having a gambling problem in the past, I was like, oh, that's interesting, because I could see how that ripping packs and spending money you don't have could be the same. I get the same dopamine hit from betting on a game that I do ripping a pack. And I haven't ripped packs. I haven't done that in a long time, but
you know what?
It's like a slot machine. You
100%.
hit the card, and it's like ding, ding, ding. You hit the jackpot.
100%. Just like anything in life, if you overindulge, it can become a problem. But on the flip side of things, I guess for me, like when we were growing up, the rush of knowing, because we knew how many Jordan cards were going to be in that lot, right? Like, we knew the different like ins and outs, what you could get, what you might not get. And it was so fun. Like, you didn't even care. Like, even if you didn't get a big card, you ran to the Beckett and you're like, okay, this is so-and-so from the Yankees, it taught you about players. It made you pay attention a little bit more, right? And it taught you how to
want them to do good if you had their card.
100%. It taught you how to take care of something the right way if you got something nice. But to me, I still I love the thought of that nostalgia for kids doing it these days. But there's so many sharks out there now, man.
Yes.
We did it before the internet. We didn't have to worry about fakes. We didn't have to worry about all that other stuff or people. I mean, it is down to a science. BJ, you will probably know this if you're still listening. There are people that have it down to a science to where they buy the 1986. They'll get a box of Fleer that is unopened. It's wax, still original. By literally the order of the cards that they're coming in the packs, they can tell and predict exactly when that Jordan card is coming, or if it's not, by people that now have the full sheets. Have you seen those? The complete sheets that Fleer would print off from the press before they're cut. You can, the uncut ones, you can still find those. So they knew the little formula with the last names that Fleer used. So I wish those people stayed the hell out of the way. But other than that, I love it. I think it's great. The collectible side too is awesome, because I see people flip more and more from getting an autograph to getting a picture with a person now because of social media.
Yeah.
But that's what back in the day, if you got like a ball at the ballpark, like for instance, one of my Cal Ripken balls, that's just a ball from the game. And I got him to sign it. Something that has a meaning to you, something I don't want to sell. But like Emeron said, there's people that just line up at the airports and try to, sign for money and yada, yada, yada. I get it. You got to find the balance between the two.
I've probably got a dozen autographs that I personally got myself, and I wouldn't say he brought up the story about the hat and the sweaty hat, and someone got, JJ Stokes to sign it. To me, my autographs, I don't want to sell them. They mean something to me. They don't mean anything to anybody else. I got Steve Young to sign just a scrap piece of paper because I was at the AT&T Pro-Am, and this was when Joe Montana was starting. So Steve Young was on the bench. He wasn't the starter yet. And I'm in the gift shop, and I'm there with my first wife, one of three. And we're in the gift shop by ourselves. No one else is in there. I turn around, and Steve Young is there. I'm like, oh my God, Steve Young, you know?
Your first of what? 3?
First of 3 wives. Yes.
Okay.
I'm on number 3. Last one, third time's the charm. But he's there. He signed it. He wasn't even the starter. I'm sure he loved the fact that, you know, the backup quarterback, someone's asking for his autograph. And to me, no one else wants that piece of paper with his autograph. And he said, to Chris and my first wife's name, to Chris and Pam. I forget what it says. Something like, nice to meet Steve Young or something. Yeah. Anyway, what's up?
What's up, man? What's up, Adam? How you doing today?
What's up? I'm good, guys. How are you?
We're doing great. We're having our Friday toss around that we usually do.
The hit.
You want, let's see, you want addiction problems. They have packs that go for $500 for one card. Imagine getting addicted to buying this. Well, did you hear?
That's not even, that's the low end.
Yeah. Did you see what Emeron said?
Wild.
Yeah. That's why I asked Emeron about the top level cards that are kind of, it's where cards are also merging with collectibles that have like game worn jerseys, the logos, pieces of baseballs where they take the leather off of the ball.
I have some of those. I have some of those, dude.
Yeah. So like the Prism, I think he said it's the Prism. You get 7 cards.
And they're like, what, 10 grand
cards
to get that, right?
Yes. And I think in that you're guaranteed to have at least one of one. You'll have one of one card. Hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it'll be one card that you will only have. Yes.
Okay, so he talked about going to that card show in Dallas, and before I moved here, I would stay at that hotel where they hold it, and I ended up staying there one weekend during that card show, just by chance, right? Yeah, the collector of lies. That's a wild call out. What's up, BJ?
Real men of genius.
That was a great one, BJ.
Hey, BJ, I haven't graded mine either.
Did you get a piece of their jersey before they left?
Right, the wedding dress. I'm gonna put a ripped part of wedding dress in the next insert.
Yeah. A little snip of hair.
Yeah,
like, come on, man.
Some of those
they are living, right? They are living, I believe.
Yes, they're all alive. Yes.
Okay. As far as we know, they are.
I need a 6-pack, says Derek. Yeah, I got to get 3 more of a 6-pack.
Wow. You can get the Haunted Horse collection.
Some of those cards with the jersey snippets are like not the most desirable players, right? Like, oh, I've got a Jameis Winston. Like, cool, Jameis is great for what he is, but like,
well, his jersey might have some crab juice on it from the
dude,
crab legs.
I don't care what anyone has to say about Jameis. He is one of my favorites. I love him.
He's awesome. He hasn't done
he's awesome.
Bad.
No,
he's
he's
not
great.
like Deshaun Watson or anything. He's just quirky.
Yeah.
He's a different dude.
Crab legs is
Jameis,
technically
Jameis is a different dude for sure.
I feel like that's a guy you want on your team.
Yeah,
whether or not he plays,
he's a good dude.
So, really quick, let's talk some Kings. DeMar DeRozan, according to a couple of sources, are now the team to watch. Take it for what it's worth to acquire him and his services.
Who's the team to watch? Kings?
The Kings to acquire
I saw
DeMar
Warriors
DeRozan
today in my Facebook, or not my my Twitter feed.
According to Woj, it looks like Woj said the Bulls are not wanting to take back a large contract, so the Kings are looking for a third team. Other teams interested in DeMar, but the Kings are currently the team to watch. So
yeah, they're not looking for a large contract because they've got another dude wrapped up for $50 million a year for the next 3 years.
Well, they also have Kobe Jones coming up, or Kobe White, excuse me. He's a great player. They're gonna have to pay him as well. But yeah, so we'll see.
Weren't they in the driver's seat on Oh, who was it? And they didn't get him. And you guys were saying maybe they used the Kings as leverage. Who was that? That was within the last week or two. They
Zach Levine,
no, and
Brandon Ingram.
someone was possibly going to go with you guys, and then you guys didn't get them, and you guys were using them for leverage, or maybe they used another. Anyway, I'm sorry. Don't ask me.
Yeah, here's what I know. I said it a couple days ago. We'll go Kings heavy. Jay, we'll get you in a second. I said if you're going to, or the Kings are going to make a move, you need to look in the places that everybody isn't right now, because a DeMar DeRozan is a pretty decent move in my opinion. It's nothing flashy, but this team isn't ready to win a championship either, and he's actually a really good piece in this sense. He gives you a legitimate threat from the mid-range, which now gives you a roster that is a three-tier threat offensively, where teams don't just have to guard the three-point line and the hoop. They've got to guard the entire half court. And it would keep the Kings within Monty's comfort zone, which is having contracts that it's liquidity. It's being able to move off of pieces. If you want, Zach Levine doesn't do that for you. Lauri Markkanen doesn't do that for you. In fact, if you're looking at a Zach Levine, if you are looking at a Brandon Ingram, or Zach Levine, excuse me, take him out of the conversation. If you're looking at a Lauri Markkanen, you're looking at a Brandon Ingram, you would be mortgaging the future with no guarantee that player is going to stay here. Anybody, and I'm on the record saying this, that trades for Markkanen before August is an idiot. I would say that about the Kings if they pulled the trigger there, because Lauri can't sign an extension until August, and his camp has made it pretty clear to numerous sources that he wants to test free agency. So in this sense, I like DeMar DeRozan if this does happen. I know the Bulls really do like Kevin Huerter as well. They see the upside there. So stay tuned, Kings fans. I said 2 days ago that I thought a move was coming in the next 7 days based off of my conversations with people around the team.
So Grant Napier said on one of your shows, I think it was this week, that he thought DeRozan gets you guys to a 6 seed possibly, if I heard that right. In around a 6 seed, so getting into the playoffs. He thinks this player would get you guys there.
Probably. Here's what I love about DeRozan. So, and Jay, we'll bring you in on this really quick. I want to make sure that I read this off right. You look at what DeRozan, has done the past, 8 seasons. He's played 79 games, 74 games, 76 games, 61. Remember that COVID year? 68, 77, 80, 74, 78, 80, 79, and 82. That's exactly the type of guy that you need. Somebody that's durable. And I get that he's going to be 35 in August, but he is durable. You can count on him to be on the court.
Well, let's hope it happens.
So let's.
I love the idea of
going on.
What's up, Jay?
How you guys
Jay
doing?
into the conversation.
Good, man.
And by the way, hi,
love the
Baki.
idea of
Baki
DeRozan.
said hi to us. What's up, Bach?
Hey, Baki.
Wait, and can you refresh me on what DeRozan's a free agent, right?
Correct.
No strings attached, right? Like
correct.
Okay,
But
so if we can do a sign and trade, what do we get this guy for? Like 20 a year?
Probably about 25 million is what he's looking for.
25.
he wants more than 30. So,
so
the other night I
contracts-
said, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Woj. Hit it, Woj.
Yeah. Well, the way sign and trade works, you have to do it for at least 3 years. And at 34 years old, 3 years is actually the contract that I, with my gut feeling, would be willing to offer. I wouldn't want to offer anything 2 years, because if he does have a huge year again, like Malik Monk did, then we're in the same situation to try to retain him if we only have him for a 2-year contract rather than signing for his full bird rights with a 3-year deal. So with the sign and trade, the minimum is 3 years anyway. So it'd be probably about 3 years, 75 million total. Hold on really quick.
What I love about DeMar DeRozan is, I mean, the guy won a championship. Was he the number one guy in Toronto when that happened? No, but if he comes here, he doesn't have to be the number.
DeRozan won a
3
championship
in Toronto.
He did? I don't think so.
With Kawhi and
he was on that team.
Yep.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
So he brings a little bit of that, but I mean, he comes here, he's, you know, third, fourth man up, right? Like maybe fifth if you want to throw Murray
No,
and
DeRozan
Monk in
didn't win
there.
it.
He'd
I got to
be
clean that up. He didn't
No?
win a championship. He
No.
was with the Spurs.
Oh.
That's what made Kawhi even greater, is because he didn't have anybody with him.
Jay, you and I disagree on who's great and who is not.
That's
Kawhi was great in that stretch. I will give you that.
In that
So,
stretch, yeah.
he
Now
had
he's taking it back. He's taking a step down. I think Paul George is better than him right now in his career.
You gotta
so
love the durability.
he had an up and coming Pascal Siakam and a Fred VanVleet and a Kyle Lowry on that Toronto team. So he had a little bit of help. But Jay, I don't think the Kings are going to get into bed for that much money. I think it's going to be less than $25 million a year.
I mean, $25 million a year for a player that averages 24 points a game. And I respectfully would have to disagree because of the way he's able to score the ball. He would be a 2 option when it comes to pure scoring. Keegan isn't ready to be consistent like DeMar is yet. Yes, Keegan will explode for a 20, 30-point game a few times next season. And we would love to see that. But you can rely on DeMar DeRozan to give you 20, 22 consistently each night. Sabonis isn't a top A-tier scorer. He can give you 14, 16 points. Some nights he might give you 12, but he's not that guy that you're going to give to the ball and run an ISO for when you need a bucket. So I would say DeMar DeRozan would be our second best scorer, and then Malik Monk at 3, and then probably Keegan at 4.
Interesting take, Adam.
I just think, you know, ideally I'm with you, Rhino. Like, we should not be thinking about trading Keegan Murray at all.
Oh no, yeah, I agree
for
with that.
whoever, you know, or giving up draft picks. Just look at what happened this year with that Atlanta pick. Like, I think we were all banking on that pick this year going to Atlanta, and I think it really threw a wrench in our
100%.
plan.
Next year is a massive draft. Yes,
Yeah.
next year's draft is supposed to be wild.
Sure,
Yeah.
and it's gone, right? I mean, assuming we don't or we do make the playoffs this year, right? I don't know if it's still protected.
Let's
in that
make a
way.
trade and get a pick
It's
back.
a top 12 protected. So
Yeah.
if we're in the top 12, then we get our pick, but we're probably
It's
gonna
brutal,
be
and we
on
should
the-
be top 12, right? So, like, what's the most like risk-free move for us to make here? And I think it might be DeMar DeRozan. We're not going to have to trade anyone, hopefully, unless we do some sort of sign and trade. I don't know if that's a possibility.
yeah.
You're
That's how
talking
it
about
would have
the
to work.
3-year, right? Okay, great. I think we could offload a Herter or a Barnes. You know,
No,
with
everything
that.
I'm hearing, everything that I've heard is it would be in
Herter.
that situation with the Bulls. It is Herter,
Well,
100%.
I think it would. Yeah, Herter would be the main piece, and then you're probably looking at, in my opinion, probably Chris Duarte if you want to get to that
Yeah,
$20 million figure.
yeah, and watch out too. I wouldn't like to see this guy go, but Trey Lyles is another name that has been thrown around quietly. The one
Yeah,
thing
that sucks. But I was looking at the rosters and the salary caps. His is very tradable to put on top of. Like, if you wanted to get to
is.
that $25 million figure, you wouldn't go Herter and Duarte. You would go Herter and Lyles. He's the next to push it to 25.
So the one thing I'll say about DeRozan, and I've said this many times before, you guys have all heard it, is the Kings have a problem with creators. They don't have enough of them. They don't have enough guys that can create their own shot, get a shot. So in the moments where, you know, De'Aaron Fox is going to be double teamed, Malik Monk maybe getting hedged off of a pick and roll, if the ball swung over to the other side of the court to DeMar DeRozan with 8-9 seconds left on the shot clock, he is a guy that can create his own shot. That is something desperately that the Kings need. So I agree with Adam. If this was to be the move, this is probably the best move. You could argue the Kings would be better with Markkanen. Absolutely. They would probably be better with Ingram. Absolutely. But those are not the best moves for this team right now. This, to me, seems like the best move that's been reported out of all of them.
Well, yeah, and I agree with that. It's the most risk-free. Well, actually, I think it's the second most risk-free. I think the most risk-free would be Kyle Kuzma when it comes to fit. I feel like if we add him, he's not going to make us worse. We'll see how much better he makes us. But I don't think he'll make us worse.
I think Kuzma's a better fit, but for what we likely have to give up for him, like I just don't want
That's
to
very
see us,
true.
like,
Yeah. I see.
I don't want to see us like leverage our future on any one of these Levines, Ingrams, Kuzma, who you name them. Like it doesn't matter. Like do not give up those draft picks because I think they're
we need
so
those
valuable
picks
in the future with the new CBA.
See, the good thing is we have a 2026 pick still, which that draft is also supposed to be good.
So what if we took Levine, we take, 15 first-round picks from the Bulls, and then we can trade those off for Ingram and all that stuff?
That's not a bad idea.
I'm kidding.
No.
I'm just kidding.
That's not that bad. I mean, you take on Zach Levine, and they're offering first-round picks, especially in 2025. You gotta remember how valuable rookie contracts are.
But Adam said trade the contracts off, and I said no. Absolutely not. You would not want to trade those. We've talked about it so much, and you've already. I was talking about this 6-8 months ago about the bite of this CBA that was going to be going into effect. You saw teams scrambling to get under the aprons. This is all about now drafting and developing. That's why I covered the Stockton Kings so closely last year with their player development, because Gabriel Harris, the acting GM right now, that whole system, Lindsey Harding, the G League Coach of the Year last year, they're doing a great job down there. And that is just as important of a piece as drafting well, is the actual development of it. Haunted Horse, there's some rumors in the chat that you are trading cats for wives.
Yes.
Any truth to
I
that?
saw that. That was funny. Hey, real quick, just had a thought. So you're talking about aprons now, and that's new. You know what this is starting to remind me of? The NBA now is starting to guide its way to what the NFL does. What's the most valuable thing in the NFL right now? A good quarterback on a rookie sign, right? Because what's Purdy making right now? Peanuts compared to what the top quarterbacks. So you can use the money that you're not paying Purdy right now to spread around and get him weapons. That's what it's starting to sound like when you're talking about aprons. Now, all of a sudden,
100%.
There's a harder cap, and now those rookies and those draft picks have become more valuable than the veterans almost.
Well, to a degree, here's the other thing about that. The Kings couldn't even be talking about doing a sign and trade right now had they not executed the trade to get Davion and Sasha out of here, because the first apron, if you are in there, you cannot do sign and trades. And then also you cannot during the season sign any player that was making 12.9 or more that's waived from their contract. So that's basically saying if a Russell Westbrook came available in the middle of the season like he's done in the past, and then he goes to a contender for the veteran minimum, if they're in the first apron because they've already loaded up with 3 stars, they can't sign them. It gets filtered out to the other teams. Baki, what's up? Welcome in all the way from Serbia.
What's up, Baki?
Hey,
Baki.
What's up, bros?
What's going on, man?
All
So
the mafia.
aprons have made it helpful for small teams like Portland,
Correct,
like Sacramento, to compete against the Lakers, the Knicks, the Miamis, the deep pocket teams that just gobble up all the players and just overpay for them.
That is the theory of the new CBA. That is part of the thing.
Let's hope.
Yeah,
That's
player distribution.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's the best thing about the NFL. I'm a Packers fan, okay? Like, there is no way that the Green Bay Packers should ever be competitive.
No.
In any, Super Bowl or whatever, any sport, if they had other teams.
And you know who caused that was the 80s Niners and the 90s Cowboys, because they just threw money, gobbled up all the players, and ripped off rings. And then the NFL came in and said, you know what? We're going to level the playing field. And it was the best thing ever, because your team can go from the basement, like the Houston Texans the year before, and go into the playoffs the next year because of that hard cap. And that's what small market teams in the NBA need to happen so that the Lakers and the Knicks and Celtics and Miami Heat don't gobble up everybody and leave us the scraps. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
There's a gap in between that as well. And the thing is, when you're dealing with high market teams like the Lakers and the Celtics, who can afford to pay these top tier players, when you get a team like Portland Trailblazers and you look at their salary cap situation, they're just at the sorry. I meant to say first apron.
Yeah, we just got under it because we made a trade as well. We did what you guys did. Yeah.
But look who they have. They have no top tier players on their team.
No, we overpaid because we were a small market team.
Exactly.
And if you don't overpay, the players go to the big markets.
Exactly. So now it's like it works, and then
well, we
works
did
short
it
term, but then it starts to go from further apart because you're paying to keep players.
But those deals were made before this new contract and the aprons and all that. So I would imagine we and the Kings and everyone else will change the way they've done business. No longer do we overpay to get players. We have a level playing field. You know, we're still going to have to overpay a little, but not like we used to. I mean, it's crazy what the small market teams had to do to retain their players. It was gross.
Well, that's why that sign and trade clause that is part of the first apron is huge, because that's what you have to do for a small market team to get a DeMar DeRozan, for instance, if that goes through on a 3-year deal, or else you are going, just what you guys said, overpay. So, Baki, what's up, my man? What are your thoughts on DeRozan?
Hey, Rhino, is this the first time you bring all the mafia into one place?
Yes, we're having a
How
family.
many cameras can we get in?
We are having a public family meeting right now.
So who's playing center? I'm gonna be a guard.
That's you, dude. No, you're the biggest dude.
Yeah, dude, you're the center.
I must ask Nicola what he thinks about it.
I'm gonna bomb from 3.
Okay.
I'm short. I need to stay back and just bomb.
Jay, where you get? On the Fox's place.
I'll coach.
Oh, you coach. So then we need to bring Grant as the one place.
Bro, I got 2 metal hips. I can't play anymore.
Baki, so you like DeRozan. You said you it's a beautiful thing. Why?
I will tell you later, but I would like to ask you, since now it's 5 of us, who do you like best? DeRozan or Ingram?
DeRozan.
Yeah.
If you're talking about strictly fit, I'll go Ingram, but I think DeRozan
strictly fit
is easier to attain.
I go DeRozan for contract reasons. I mean, DeRozan's more affordable than Brandon Ingram. Plus, if we do get DeRozan, he's going to be with the Kings for at least 3 years guaranteed, because the way we would get him is a sign and trade, and that's at least 3 years minimum in order to do that. Versus Ingram is only 1 year left on his contract, and we're going to have to dish out some money to potentially Fox and Keegan and Ingram.
Yeah.
Does anyone here think that Ingram would re-sign with the Kings after next season?
Possibly. I mean, because here's the thing: when you trade a player, their bird rights follow them, so that means we're allowed to go over the cap and
without penalty. Yes.
Yeah. So we would be the team that can offer him the most amount of money, because there's not going to be any team that has $50 million in cap space next season.
That's true.
Brandon Ingram can't stay on the court. And I guess with his length, he, from a size standpoint, is a better fit. But I think the player that DeRozan is at this point in his career, the fact that he can stay on the court, Jay talked about his scoring. He's a California kid. I just think he makes the most sense. You've got to mix a little bit of veteran leadership in with this young core. And I think it works. It would be it's the smarter move. To me, even contracts out of there. John, I don't know if this is going to work. It worked.
It is. Hey, man, we can't have all 5 of you guys. We can't have all 5 of you guys without me in here. This is the King's Court, right? How's it going, Baki? Everybody, how's it going? Horse?
What up?
Oh, boy. We made it. How's it going, guys?
We made it.
Good, man.
Jay,
I like
Yeah,
it.
we
take
all
a
do.
timeout.
Well, I do too.
Jay, take a timeout.
Yeah, I'm the coach, so now we have 5 players.
Yeah, now start it.
Oh,
Start it.
so who's
Start
riding
the
the
engine,
bench to
start the
start? I'll
engine.
tell you what, I'm finishing. All right.
You finish
Hey.
it.
This is awesome having everybody on, Ryan. This is pretty freaking fun.
It is. It is.
You know, Baki and I and Grant kind of had the discussion last night about the Kings free agents a little bit. And to me, Lauri Markkanen, he would fit best with our team, but it's simply not going to happen. Now,
No.
DeRozan, like Grant said, he's got potential to really bring our team up a little bit more and add that 5 or 6 more wins, which potentially puts us into, the 6th spot or better. So we got a lot of options, but man, the whole thing is, I don't think we need to make a move really quickly. I think we still have a little bit of time to do it. It doesn't have to happen within 7 days. I want to hear what you guys have to say on this too, though.
All right, we will go. I'm going to go Adam first, then we'll go to Jay, and then Baki, and then Horst with the last word. And then we are going to probably wrap the show up now that we've got a full team of 5. But Adam,
we got a team, baby.
Thoughts on what John
Sorry,
said?
I was responding to the comments. What's the question?
You got to learn to type to corn dog and listen at the same time. Come on, man.
I'm sorry.
John thinks there's no rush to make a move right now.
Do you guys think there's a big hurry to make a move? I don't think there is a big hurry to make a move in the next week.
Yeah, but
what patience is sometimes the best virtue.
Well, I just think that if we don't make a move soon, someone else will and get a player that we're looking at.
That's it.
So,
That's it.
That does make sense to me. Hey,
Miami could come at any time. It's a good point.
Yeah,
that's true. But hey, I've said I defer to Monty too. I still trust what Monty's done. He's the best GM we've had since, in 20 years, obviously since Petrie. So.
Yeah, I think we need to make a move just out of the sake of someone else will sign a DeRozan or trade for Ingram or, maybe Markkanen or whatever. But if
I don't think the Markkanen is in the cards for us. I just don't think the money's going to work somehow or anything like that. DeRozan, perhaps though. One thing I want to ask is, man, how are these guys shooting from the free throw line? Because from the free throw line, that has been a monkey on our freaking back. And we need, it's wonderful to shoot, 75 or 80% in game 40. But man, when it comes to game 84, when we need it, man, we need to have guys that are proven who could show up to the free throw line and freaking drop buckets, make them happen right then with no complications. And this is another reason why I trust Monty McNair, because I think he's on the same agenda. He wants to be good, just like everybody on our team wants to be good. They all want to play with good players. So it's wait and see, but moving really quickly makes me think, man, let's not move really hastily and make a poor decision, because man, poor decisions have screwed this team over for so long. Hey, it's 6 of one, half a dozen in the other. So I understand, where everybody's coming from, and we got 6 of us on board. We're not all going to agree, but we're not all going to agree on everything, but we all agree we want to be better.
John, we've grown by 2, my friend. We almost have 5 on 5.
Somebody wake up, corn dog.
Oh shit! Here we go. Well, hey, we could get 4 on 4 at least.
We need one more.
We can almost play football, guys. I'll be a quarterback. I need a wide out and a running back.
Okay, you guys are literally stretching our streaming capabilities. I had no clue that we could go 8 strong here. I love it. Dirk,
we're doing it. Look at us,
BJ,
boys.
What's
Arm
up?
wrestling contests.
This is great. Hey, really quick, Progressive, I see your question. I don't think that you're going to see a huge impact from Buddy. Yeah, he's a great shooter, but he comes with baggage. You've seen that since he has left Sacramento. So you'll see him on some hot games, but boy, when that ball's not going in, it will not be a pretty sight.
Are you kidding me? Buddy Hield to the Warriors has championship written all over it.
Of course. Yes. Of course.
Did you say championship right now?
Yes.
They need somebody to dribble it off their face out of bounds.
Men of genius.
Dirk just got a real man of genius for that one. Championship.
Yeah.
Well done. Oh Oh my gosh, what is going on here?
Well said.
9 now. Dennis is in the house.
Wow.
Get in here, Dennis. Plenty of room, buddy.
Hey, we are off the salary cap.
What's that, Dirt?
Thumbs up, thumbs down on a DeRozan acquisition for all the visuals here. How would we
So
feel
if this
about
is,
it?
I don't know if everyone
I
else
need a little volume.
is the same configuration, but if this is the Brady Bunch, Baki's Alice, because he's in the middle of mine.
Yeah, Baki's in the middle of mine too.
He's in the middle. All right. Well, there you
Rhino
go.
is Cindy.
Baki, look up Brady Bunch. You're Alice because you're in the middle.
Something tells me I'm gonna hear from
Wait a
the
minute,
boss
am I
when
Bobby?
he sees this show.
You,
I think
no,
I
you're
might be
Greg.
Bobby.
Well, Adam's Greg. Who asked if they were Bobby? Dennis?
I think I'm Bobby, right?
Dennis
I
is
think
Bobby.
I am.
I'm
I'm
one of the
Peter.
parents.
Sorry.
I forget which one though. I think I'm Mike.
Well, Baki is
This is
Alice. Wait a
great.
minute. Is Baki Alice? I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Baki is
Baki's
Alice.
Alice.
So-
Alice in the middle.
I guess
Right.
so. Hey, you guys all okay. I'm gonna go in order. Everybody gets a last word really quick, and then we are going to wrap up. Starting with, so look at your screens, gentlemen, if you are on right now. Haunted Horse, last word for you. Plug
You
your
were
show.
wrong, John, when you said we all want the Kings to be better. I'm a Portland Trailblazer fan, so you were incorrect, sir. I want the Portland Trailblazers to be better. I am on vacation as of now. I am going to come down and see Ryan next week. First time we've met in person. And I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your weekends. You've earned them. And go, I guess, Kings. Even though
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Good job, Horsey. Adam.
All right, let's hit it. You already know what it is. Money in the Bank is tomorrow night. So I'm going to make my picks. Drew McIntyre already calling his shot, saying that he's going to win Money in the Bank tomorrow, and then he's going to cash it in that night against Damian Priest after he defends his title against Seth freaking Rollins. So give me Drew McIntyre. I think LA Knight doesn't win. He's going to have his feud with Logan Paul in the future at SummerSlam. So that's what I got for you.
Boom.
I don't think he wins after he cashes in, though.
Nailed it. All right, Adam with the predictions. Thanks for being here today, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having
go
me.
to Jay. Jay, last word.
Yeah, the little remarketing trade thing. You see, the thing is, he's available for a contract extension in August, so
Yes.
he's going to be locked up by the Utah Jazz in August, and then that's going to change the trade package. It's going to, if you want marketing, you're going to have to come with even more than they're asking now because he'll be locked up under contract. So I do feel like, John, we do need to make a move. If we want someone like DeMar DeRozan, you got to be aggressive now for that person, but obviously it has to be for the right person. So if the Kings think that that man is the right man for the job, then you got to go out there and make it happen.
Boom. Love it, Jay. Thanks so much for joining us today, brother.
Thank you.
All right, Baki, last word.
Well, everybody talks about that trade. Who's gonna come? Maybe it's gonna be Ingram. Maybe it's gonna be DeRozan, but maybe it's gonna be nobody. So I'm not to wait too much. I mean, John is right. If you be patient, it's gonna be good. But Adam is right as well, because if you wait, both of guys are gonna go. So I don't know. Maybe you can catch if it's possible about the money. If you can take it for maybe 20, 25 millions. I know. I would definitely take both of you. But previous, I would like to ask you about the status of Ingram. Does anybody says anything about it, or it's only guess? But okay.
I'll just say this really quick. I think that trade has, or the possibility of that trade has left the port. I think that one is off the table. I would be shocked if Ingram was a Sacramento King.
Because all over the place are the news about DeRozan, but about Ingram, I didn't see it anywhere. So I don't know.
I think they've moved on from that, but we'll see. Hey, make sure you give
Holy
Fedora
moly, Jim
a
Boli.
big holy moly Jim Bob Bowley for me. Thanks for calling in, Bach.
Bye, guys.
John, last word. John is frozen. No, what?
Fun.
All right, BJ, last word.
Well, I think waiting and letting things articulate. I'm not in the Brandon Ingram camp, or certainly the Levine. Light the mother effing beam. Stay away from Levine. I'm not in that camp either. I don't think that we should rent people out for a year. I think we should look long term, midterm to long term. I like DeRozan. I like the way that he approaches the game, and I like that he, he's got a good head on his shoulders. So I'm all about mindset and how you play as a teammate and the intangibles. And I think DeRozan has got a high end on that ceiling. So I just got a delivery, and I got a signed Keegan Murray with the patch on there.
Nice.
Kind of cool. Kind of sweet. And then I got this other one. This is also a rookie. It's like some type of red, silver, flashy bling something or another. I don't know. It's kind of cool. Anyways, yeah, that's my take. I love the show. Love the chat. Love you guys. I'll be talking with you.
Brother. Be well, B. All right. My man, Dirk. I know you got something to say about the Kings.
Yeah, I don't think Ingram's off the table. I think Marketing just moved into the spotlight, but I don't think that deal's ever happening. So the more deals the Kings are discussed, the more leverage the Kings potentially have, although a little bit, in getting the best possible value in these trades. I think a DeRozan trade would be successful. None of these trades are a perfect fit, but something needs to happen right now in this time. Right now, I've been waiting all week, and I'm just tired of looking at my Twitter feed to see what's going to happen. So hopefully this deal gets done in the next 2 days, which I think it will. I'm betting against DeRozan, but maybe the Kings are still in on Kuzma or another 4 spot. We'll see.
Could be. Good observation. Enjoy the California Classic this weekend, buddy. All right, that's Dirk. Dennis, my man.
Yes,
any
sir.
last words for the show?
I'm just really excited because when is the last time the Kings have ever been mentioned in a free agent talks, trades like this? Like, we are like leaders of the pack, and players want to come here, and people don't understand like how important winning is. DeMar DeRozan wants to come here. I think he grew up or was born in LA, or
he's an he's an LA kid. He actually grew up with one of my college teammates. So I've had the pleasure of being around DeMar a little bit.
And he wants to come and sign here because the chance of winning is here. And I just want my Kings fans just to understand that, like, and take that in consideration. The things I hear, though, the mixed part about it is like his age, not a good fit, doesn't shoot threes. I'm like, but you got to look at what he does bring to us, the experience, a great free throw shooter. That kind of reminds me of Kmart, great midi, great eats at the free throw line. Something like that we don't really have. I mean, Fox gets to the free throw line, but he doesn't really, eat there like DeMar has,
Great
and that's
point.
and that's the only thing I could say that would separate them two, because they're both really clutch players. So you get two of the best clutch players in the NBA on the same team. They got the splash buds over there in the Warriors, but we got the clutch players over here if we get DeMar, and that's what really matters.
It's a great point, Dennis.
That's what really matters, and I hope people really, see that coming in, and I'm just really excited that we're going to get somebody. I mean, we're all waiting for this for so long, but
yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it comes through. I mean, all I'd say is go back and watch some of the games against Chicago this last year when the Kings played them. DeRozan, just as you said, made a living at the free throw line. So, hey, brother, enjoy the California Classic this weekend. Appreciate you calling in. All right, we're going to give him one more shot because he froze up for a last word. Johnny boy, you there?
Can you hear me, Ryan?
I got you. Last word, bud.
Wow. Hey, I wish I was frozen because it's creeping up on like 107 or 108.
Yeah,
so we got a few more degrees.
Get
a few more degrees. I could be inside, but I'm out I'm doing all right. I'm hanging out. I'm doing okay. I got the barbecue going. I got some wings and the asparagus just about ready to go on any minute. So we're doing all right.
In the Finch household. I love it, brother.
I know. For some reason, I've been on an asparagus kick for the last 2 or 3 years, man. I love it.
It's good
for some reason. I love it.
It is good for you.
Don't slam me on my asparagus, all right? I like broccoli too. Go figure.
I'm praising you, brother.
It's all good.
I am praising you. So,
Right on.
hey, I appreciate the call, brother. You're the man. Tell everybody hi.
Hey,
for
brother.
me.
Man, I will. And hey, to all 8 that were on board, that was fun as hell, Ryan. You're doing an ass-kicking job.
Fun.
If you don't like that, you don't like the King's Court, baby. Keep it up,
Boom!
Ryan.
Love it, brother. Thank you, John. That is John Finch closing out. Hey, I just want to close out and thank all of you. That is what Fridays are here on the King's Court. We have some fun. 9 deep. That was nuts. We got Adam's wrestling segment in. Adam, thank you very much for that. I feel like I owe Horse a little bit more. Maybe Horse will be in here live in studio next week. We might try to work those kinks out. That will be fun. But hey, first and foremost, I want to thank Emeron Pilotti for coming on and making a huge, Emeron, you made a huge impact on the King's Court today, buddy. Loved having you on. Thank you so much for making the time. Make sure you go check out Emeron's shop. That is True Sports Cards and Collectibles in Rockland. You can also catch him on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. The True Sports Card show on 1140. Make sure that you go check Emeron out. We will be partnering together and doing that Malik Monk autograph jersey giveaway here on the King's Court. But a huge thanks to Emeron. That was, again, so much fun. Touched on so many things. An amazing story. If you missed that and you came late to the King's Court, make sure you go check that out. As for your Kings, California Classic this weekend, beginning tomorrow. Make sure that you support the team. And as I said at the top of the show, or maybe I didn't get to my take, I am actually a little bit happy that Devin Carter is not going to be playing, because that means we are going to see Keon Ellis featured. I want to see what this young man can do as the featured guard. Look, he can fill it up at times. Can he fill it up with the spotlight on him? That's what I want to see. I also want to see his improvements. If there's a name to watch for on this Summer League roster that might surprise you, it's this, Isaiah Richardson. He was one of the better players in college basketball. No, not the big boys, D1, but go check out Isaiah Richardson. He can play a little bit. He's got some length. So anyways, it is going to be a great weekend. We will be back if anything happens on the Kings front, whether that be a trade, sign and trade. You get my point. We've got you covered. Make it a great weekend. We will be back and better than ever on Monday right here on the King's Court. But until then, go Kings. Hit it.
Holy moly, Jimbaboli.
Yes, indeed. Again, the California Classic schedule this weekend. You've got the Kings and the Lakers, 1:30 tomorrow from the Golden One Center. Then they play again, 7:30 in the evening against China. And remember, Doug Christie officially announced as the Summer League coach for your Kings. As for Sunday in the California Classic, the Kings will be taking on Miami at 1:30 and then San Antonio at 7 o'clock. All of those games from the Golden One Center. Again, a huge thanks to Emeron Pilotti for coming on of True Sports Cards and Collectibles in Rockland. Go Kings! Stay the hell away from Levine. Light the damn bleam. Bleam. What did I just say? Bleam? Let me start that over. Go Kings. Like the damn beam. Stay away from Levine. Court is dismissed.
Real men